welcome. Today we're going to be predicting the Pac-12, or as I personally call it, my little annoyance. Sorry, Lincoln Riley and USC are fucking annoying to me. They're going to be just like Lincoln Riley at Oklahoma, make the playoffs, and annoy everyone by being a pushover in them. Basically taking someone else's opportunity. Anyway, USC gonna beat San Jose State. Speaking of USC, Arizona State beats Southern Utah. Stanford beats Hawaii. Washington State beats Colorado State. TCU beats Colorado. Arizona, UCLA, Cal, Oregon, USC again. Utah beats Florida. I don't think the Napier years are going to be very nice. They're going to be hostile. Washington going to do their Washington thing this year. I'm personally not as high on them as other people are, but... And then Oregon State. All right. Week 2. You had Oklahoma State winning that. Had Utah beating Baylor. I think... I'll give that one to Colorado. I'm not high on Nebraska. Oregon State, UCLA, Oregon, USC, Washington over Tulsa, Wisconsin, I don't care. Mississippi State, and probably Auburn over Cal. Next week. Boom, boom. God, this is smack around the nobody's week. USC steamrolls Arizona State. Stanford beats Arizona. Oregon beats Colorado, making Deion Sanders sad, very sad. As Oregon and USC are 4-0 and still top of this class and will be forever. However, currently Colorado is not last. Utah is going to beat UCLA, derailing UCLA's season, but putting Utah at 4-0 and making everybody wonder, is Utah going to do it this season? They have all of the returning pieces, and they really, really could. Washington's going to beat Cal, by the way. They have them at home, and it should be pretty interesting. Oregon State's going to go on the road and smack Washington State around, and it's going to be their return to reality as they finally take their first loss in Week 4. Oregon State, however, will be returned to reality as they get smacked around by a 4-0, now 5-0 Utah team that is desperately trying to get their way to a championship. USC is going to also make Deion Sanders and a lot of the Colorado transferees very sad to be playing in Boulder. Anywho, Oregon's going to do the same to Stanford, make them pretty fucking sad after they smack them around. Arizona should beat Washington, or I guess they could. I think at home they could, yeah. And Arizona State probably loses to Cal. Although that should be an interesting one. Anywho, USC beats Arizona. Arizona State probably loses to Colorado. UCLA beats Washington State. And I would say Oregon State goes on the road and beats Cal. So as we're going into week 7, at the top of the division, you have Utah, Oregon, USC. Who would have thunk them? you know? Anyway, then you have Oregon State, UCLA, both at 5-1 and 4-1 respectively. Washington, Stanford, Arizona, Colorado. A lot of the rest of them pretty bad, looking to try and win enough to win a bowl game or play in a bowl game right now. Colorado is going to make that hard for themselves by getting. Actually, no, Stanford's going to make it hard for themselves. They're going to lose. Colorado should win that one. They're going to be 4-3. USC plays Notre Dame. It is their first real test, if I'm being honest. And I think it's going to be one that they're going to sadly lose for them anyway. Because they're not ready for this type of challenge. But luckily for them, it doesn't derail their entire season. A one loss can easily still make the playoffs, and it wasn't even divisional, so they're still in the same place in their division. Anywho, Oregon State probably going to lose to UCLA, as UCLA still, both Oregon State and UCLA are both still pushing to try and be number one. Utah is going to beat Cal and hurt Cal some more. Oregon's going to go on the road and beat Washington, and Washington State's going to beat Arizona. Week 8. UCLA beats Stanford. Oregon beats Washington State. This is going to be an interesting one. Coming off of that loss, though, I really don't think USC is ready for another loss. So USC is going to come out swinging, and they're going to knock off Utah. And then Arizona State's going to beat Washington. Week 9, Arizona State probably beats Washington State. And they're desperately trying to fight their way back. And they are a good squad. Even though their ranking's so low and they have such a low, win ratio, they're still a pretty damn good team. And we'll get to see more as this is week 9. They will be developing more and playing more going forward. Washington beats Stanford. I do believe Oregon State's going to go on the road and beat Arizona. USC beats Cal. UCLA beats Colorado. And I think Utah is going to knock off Oregon, meaning that all of these teams now 8-1, 6-1 in the conference. 6-0 in conference. USC is the top of this list now, and it's looking like it could be like it was last year. Colorado going to lose to Oregon State. Get ready to get smacked back to reality, Colorado. Because a lot of these teams that you're facing now are harder, and they're going to be much more ready for you. UCLA is going to go on the road and beat Arizona. Oregon's going to beat Cal. USC is going to beat Washington. Utah is going to beat Arizona State and kind of smack around Arizona State a little bit, make them scared for whether they make a bowl game or not. But again, they're a good team. They're not going to get smacked around by Utah. They're going to play a damn good game with Utah. who is actually still in the mix for the conference championship. Uh, and Washington State's going to be Stanford. Okay. Colorado officially, unless it was last week. No, it wasn't. Oh, it won't even be this week. Anyway, Arizona's going to beat Colorado. Colorado at this point won't be sticking. And I'm sorry to say it, but in my opinion, Colorado is not going to be a team that sticks long term because this team is a team that is based entirely on transfer portal players. You still need somebody who is a part of it for the team itself. Not everyone can be jumping around. And I'm not saying anything's wrong with portal players, but I mean, you basically migrated an entire team. You can't just do that. That's not going to help them physically to work with each other. Anyway, Oregon State's going to win. Washington State's going to beat Cal. Arizona State beats UCLA. It's going to shock the shit out of everybody. But I really do think Arizona State is a good team. They're just struggling desperately. Oregon's going to snap USC back into reality by smacking them around up there. And Utah's going to beat up on Washington, putting themselves back in the mix for the Pac-12 championship. Week 12, Washington State buries any type of Deion Sanders hopes officially of making a bowl game. And really kind of saddeningly is a I mean, it's a start. Keep in mind, this is definitely better than Colorado was in the past, right? They did not rank ahead of California or Stanford last year, but it looks like they're going to end that way this year. Anyway, Arizona State is probably going to lose to Oregon at home. Oregon's looking for another shot at a championship. They're not going to be looking to lose. I think we know what's going to happen here. I think Cal can win here, and then Oregon State wins here. Okay, so now we're going into our last week, but USC is number one here. But Oregon is 10-1 here. That could mean, we're not going to complicate things. Oregon's going to beat Oregon State, though, putting Oregon State at 9-3. Yeah, Arizona State's going to beat Arizona. Fighting Irish smack around Stanford, putting them at 3-9. UCLA beats California, Utah beats Colorado, and probably Washington State goes on the road and beats Washington. So that means USC doesn't make a fucking Pac-12 championship. Oof. That's gotta hurt, man. That really does. Anyway, that means Utah, Oregon, in my version of this, plays in the Pac-12 championship. Who do I think wins? I personally think it's probably going to be Utah. I think they're overall one of the most well-rounded teams in this division. And to be frank, I think Lincoln Riley is not ready to win this division. I think he needs more time, and I think he needs really to more develop the team that he's working with. But I think USC going 10-2 next season is a far cry from the team they were 2 fucking years ago at, like, I want to say 2-10. Utah and Oregon are par for the course. A lot of these teams, Arizona State won't get a bowl game, but they were very close. They had a lot of their hard games scheduled for when they would be clicking. Washington State at 8-4, pretty good for their schedule, realistically. All 4 losses coming in division, though, means they scheduled a easy out of schedule, scheduling. UCLA and Oregon State both 9-3, 6-3 in the division. Very good. They're going to make good bowl games. This should be a great division. Anyway, hopefully you all did enjoy. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.